So I file for divorce, and we're pretty far down the path, and we're about to sign the final papers. And he says to me, is there anything we can I have 6 months? Can we just try really hard for 6 months to reimagine this relationship? Because I said to him, what I was saying all along is we can't go back to the two of us who walked down the aisle together. Those two have grown up and evolved, and we've grown and evolved in different ways. And Mindy, I'll never forget, the light bulb went off. I said to him, let me ask you something. He's in corporate America. I said, let me ask you something. You're in the medical industry. These businesses that you run, are you still running them the way they were run in the 60s, 70s, and 80s? Or is your research and development team constantly looking for innovative ideas, way to bring new things to the market, to make surgeries more optimal and recovery more optimal for patients? He's like, oh, of course. Oh, so constant evolution. Oh, well, absolutely. That your business wouldn't even survive. Oh, okay. Well, think of this as a business. How could you think our marriage would survive and thrive if we were not in constant evolution and reimagining new ways of creating this relationship? So if you can't be side by side with me in that mentality, no harm, no foul, it's come to an end, because I am like a snake shedding my skin. I will shed it until I take my final breath. There are going to be so many versions of me. And so either that's exciting to you or it's not, and there's no blame. And that was when a light bulb went off, and when he was able to put it, so what I'm offering to women who are listening, somehow in the more simplistic terms, men are often able to cross that bridge when we make it about something they understand, like business, right? Growing of a business, evolution of a business. That for him was a game-changing moment in our marriage, and we're still together now, 28 years. And then in regards to the second question, I think the sisterhood wound stems from, Mindy, when I tell you, I have yet to have a client. Maybe I've had one or two in 25 years. I can't even think of any right off the top of my head. It is so rare to have a client who's had a beautiful, healthy connection with her mother. And so if your first example in life of womanhood is with your mother, and she is somehow threatened by you, jealous of you, she talks badly about other women, she feels threatened by other women, you grow up with the coding that other women are not safe. And I think there's something deeply inside of our nervous systems, dating back thousands of years or hundreds of years, even as recent as that, where we were in competition there was only so many men to marry to secure, when you think about it, our safety. A roof over our head, food on the table, because we had no financial agency. We were removed from patriarchy. When patriarchy came in, women removed from all power. And so I think it stems from some really deep-rooted things that women have been through, and when there was real competition. And so now, if we take it to modern day times, women may say, oh, well, there's only so many seats at the board table. So we are in competition. So until we start to see each other as collaborators, because I always say this, I don't want to be the only one sharing this message. That's why when I met you in Miami, I was like, oh my God, I've like never fangirled so hard. I'm like, oh my God, a woman who literally speaks my language. Where has she been my whole life? Oh,
that's how I feel about you. I'm like, we got to partner together somehow, because
it's unbelievable. It's because I do get women who are like, oh yeah, I love your message, but yet there's things that are, let's just say, philosophies that are very misaligned in certain ways. I mean, even if we just stand side by side, you could tell that we may both be 51, but it's a definitely different energetic presentation, because there's a lot of influencers. I was at an event in New York City for female, well, there were men too, but where many female influencers in my age range were there. And it is a very different, I kind of felt like I was in my little pod, and then there were all of them. And I felt like we speak two very different languages. Well, I respect that that's what you've chosen for you. I can't even participate in this conversation, because none of what is coming out of any of your mouths aligns for me one iota. Actually, the exact opposite. So I think a lot of women in this space are still posing for the patriarchy. Yeah. As opposed to building the matriarchy. You and I can speak for myself. I'm building the matriarchy. I'm building a matriarchal conversation, a matriarchal stage, a matriarchal way. Like, I'll be here till there's no air left in my lungs speaking this message. Me too. And I think that we first of all, you and I probably don't have a lot of women who want to come alongside of that, like really arm in arm and be like, yes, shout it from the rooftops. It's a new message. All revolutionaries are considered crazy when they are sharing a new message. And it's only after they're dead and long gone, people are like, wow, she was really onto something. So, but I think that we're not going to be able to come together and collaborate as a collective, as women, until we start to become safe women within ourselves. And so my clients are always asking me, how do I become a safe woman to other women? I said, when you stop betraying yourself,